Saudi Arabia's leaders envisioned the Line, a giga-project that will transform the northwest of the country as a tall, thin band of a city over 105 miles long, populated by 9 million people and powered solely by renewable energy. A futuristic walled metropolis with an open interior that is surrounded from both parts by the mirrored facade is depicted in recently released architectural concepts as extending from the Red Sea to the east through the desert and a mountain range. Authorities in Saudi Arabia have made blueprints public for a project so big it nearly defies comprehension. It would be known as the Line and would be a 170-kilometer, 105-mile lengthy skyscraper that would house nearly 9 million people, or about the same number as New York City. For the time being, let's set aside any worries about viability. The Line would be a part of the more significant Neom project and would be located in northwestern Saudi Arabia, close to the Red Sea. We don't know who came up with the concept, but Dezeen blames Morphosis, which has a history of coming up with audacious and striking construction methods. The structure would be just 200 meters wide and rise to a height of 500 meters, 1,640 feet, which is nearly as high as the tallest skyscraper in the US, 1,656 feet. Consider it more like a massive version of Google's landscraper concept, or a structure turned on its side rather than a typical skyscraper. It would have a reflective finish, which does seem odd under the scorching, blistering sun, but the purpose is to somehow make this monstrosity merge with its environment, even if that is maybe a losing cause. In contrast, its enormous internal design would stack residences, schools, and parks on top of one another. According to the press release, the footprint of the Line, which can eventually house 9 million people, will be an unprecedented 34 square kilometer, 13 square miles, when contrasted to previous cities of comparable size. As a result, the infrastructure footprint will be less, and city operations will become more efficient than ever. Residents may walk around and enjoy the countryside thanks to its excellent climate throughout the year. The Line presents an innovative approach to urban planning. Zero-gravity urbanism is the concept of stacking city operations vertically while allowing individuals to move freely in 3 dimensions up, down, or across to reach them. The idea layers public sections and strolling spaces, schools, houses, and places of employment instead of merely tall buildings, making it possible to move easily and meet all everyday requirements in under 5 minutes. It might also use only renewable power, as if that weren't ambitious enough. Given the region's profusion of sunshine, we would infer that this refers to solar panels. However, the sources of renewable power haven't been specified at this time. Renders also show some vegetation on its rooftop. There is no known start date for the building of the Line, which HRH Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman revealed. Given the scope and sophistication of such a project, it is reasonable to have some skepticism about whether it will ever be completed. Even the most basic tasks, such as transporting enough construction material and going to pour the frameworks, appear to be substantial undertakings. But the Saudi prince, who is eager to convert his country's petroleum economy into a foreign one with an eye towards a future free of fossil fuels, has the resources and potential to make it possible. He has already launched several exciting projects with this in sight, notably Big's alleged Giga project. 2 mirror-enclosed buildings that span over 100 miles across a region of desert and mountains and will eventually house 9 million people are shown in the promotional materials. Is it the pinnacle of urban existence or just a huge science fiction fantasy? In other words, analysts, architects, and economists are unsure. Even the people working in Saudi Arabia's ambitious plan to build an urban utopia called the Line are uncertain as to whether it would ever be possible to realize in its current scale and breadth. Since it was first unveiled in 2017, Neom has drawn attention for its futuristic features, like flying vehicles and robotic maids, even as analysts and designers have challenged its viability. The 500-meter-high, 200-meter-wide building, a car-free, carbon-neutral dome that will claim nearly 100% sustainable and a moderate controlled microenvironment will use artificial intelligence at its core, according to the Saudis. Environmentalists have expressed skepticism about previous environmental commitments made by the monarchy, such as a promise to reach net zero carbon output by 2060. What had previously been an idea that even a few of the project's planners had difficulty visualizing has now been given color through visual materials. The poorly edited movies depict a megacity with hanging gardens that somewhat mimics the Death Star. In addition to having accessibility to other benefits like outdoor sporting facilities and a high-speed train with an end-to-end travel of 20 minutes, people will be able to acquire all everyday requirements within just a 5-minute walk. Saudi officials claim they have no plans to lift the nation's prohibition on alcohol, even though Neom will function under its foundation statute, which is currently being created. Prince Mohammed's efforts to change the country from the petroleum industry and conservative lifestyle that he deems unfit to propel the kingdom forward are centered on his own vision for contemporary life. Neom was partly envisioned as a reversal of roles and the paralysis of the preceding 4 decades, during which time officials reinforced a strict interpretation of Islam while holding rigid social norms. The project's first phase, which will last until 2030, will price 1.2 trillion Saudi riyals, or roughly $265 billion. Along with government grants, other potential funding options comprise the private industry and Neom's anticipated IPO in 2024. He is rumored to desire Saudi Arabia to be as well known abroad as other nations in the region, and he is said to want the country to have its pyramids. However, several analysts have questioned if the project could ever get off the ground due to the project's extravagant nature and its various forms over the previous 5 years. The idea has changed so much since it was first proposed that it can often be difficult to tell whether it's going up, down, or aggressively turning sideways. Prince Mohammed is a Saudi Arabian politician who serves as the country's crown prince, deputy prime minister, and minister of defense. Prince Mohammed believes that an increase in the population will be necessary for Saudi Arabia to become an economic powerhouse and the world's largest exporter of crude. "That is the major reason we built Neom," he declared. "Increase Saudi Arabia's population and citizenry to increase its capabilities. Why then should we copy because we are starting from scratch?" He said that Neom may create a warm to 380,000 jobs in the face of a growing population and a sizable proportion of young individuals looking for work. According to Saudi estimates, the kingdom's population might reach 1.5 billion by 2030, with much more than 50% of them being foreigners. The present population of Saudi Arabia is little, about 35 million. That's all for today's video, and thanks for watching it. If you liked it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And before you leave, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so, and turn on notifications to never miss any updates. I will see you in the next video, take care, and stay tuned.